Hi there, namaste, and welcome back to another spiritualistic pick a card reading. Today I'm channeling a message to you directly from the Faerie realm. As this topic and realm is really special and close to my heart and inner child, I wanted to post this. And I do want to let you know that if you're interested in joining my channel, you can subscribe, of course, and get notified whenever I post a reading. But if you join my channel, you can join my little inner circle and you'll have access to exclusive content here on YouTube every Wednesday. And if you're interested in taking it a step further too, you can always check out my Patreon, which is posted to every single Thursday for also members only exclusive content. They are two separate things, so I do post 3 full-length pick a card videos every single week, and I do have them separated because the content that I post on each is a little bit differently, and I want to make sure that I am giving the most precise and accurate messages to those collectives that I possibly can. With that being said, the link to your reading is going to be below in the description box, as well as joining my channel, my Patreon, my Etsy shop, which has personal readings, my Reiki sessions, the books that I've published, the art that I make, the necklaces that I wrap, and I'm always kind of working on something new. So I've got some dream journals, and by the time this goes live, I am sure there will be some stuff that's new that I don't even know about yet that is up on there. I'm always making stuff, so if you want to stay up to date with that, follow along on my Etsy shop. There's always something new up there, and I'm literally gonna make some new stuff today, so everything is usually one of a kind, or there are like 3 or 4 of the same, just because I like to keep the energy flowing as I do with the content on my channels. With that being said, please take a moment to ground yourself and take a deep inhale, drawing the energy up your spine, creating a clear and open channel. As you exhale, allow yourself to come into clear knowing which group or groups has your message in it today from the Fae. We have group number 1 on the left with the doors opening. Group number 2 in the center with listen to your higher self. And group number 3 on the right with revisiting priorities. As always, I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here so very much. Let you know that you are so loved by me, by the rest of the collectives that select the same group as you, and by many, many, many other beings on and off this earth. I love you. Timestamps, as always, are below in the description box, and I'll see you at your reading. Namaste. Hi there, Group 1. Namaste, and welcome to your channeled message from the Faerie realm. You selected the first group with the door is opening, and the first thing that I'm getting is that the Fae would like to welcome you into their portal, into their realm. Some of you have seen a fairy ring recently, and they would like to let you know, if you're curious, why you saw a circle of mushrooms, a circle of stones, a circular patch of grass, or a circle in some way that felt a little bit magical, like a portal, or even just a special vibe. They would like to confirm for you that yes, this is a fairy ring, and you, Group 1, are more than welcome to enter their realm, to enter their experience, and they would like to they're saying yay, they would like to welcome you with open arms, and they're very excited that you are tapping into the magic of the realm again. The fairies here would like you to know that your inner child is safe to frolic their realm whenever you would like. And they also want to let you know that they are dropping little mischievous blessings and surprises in your life, all of which are positive, but which have a little bit of a wink and a little bit of a giggle behind them. So they want to let you know that they love you. They're helping you to welcome in new opportunities to find more magic and creativity in your life. I feel called to let you know this is my Follow Your Heart Oracle deck. I use this in almost all of my readings just because I love it and I made it, and it's one of the first big projects that I made all by myself, and I'm really proud of it. And in the beginning, I was talking about, like in the intro, I was talking about all my art, and this is part of that. My deck. And so the fairies actually want to talk to you today about your art. If you're not an artist, this is going to be about taking more creative liberty in your life. They want you to know that it's okay for you to express yourself through things such as painting, like home decor. They're showing me my good friend who wanted to take a painting class because he really, really wants to paint, but is nervous about buying the supplies and making a mess when he doesn't even know what he's doing. And no one knows what they're doing when they do art. Even the masters of the crafts. I mean, there's always something more to learn. And on top of that, you can be amazing at what you do. And there will always still be another door to open. And so the fairies want to welcome you into their realm. They're saying that you've been connecting with them lately, or you have connected with them a bit in the past. And of course, only take that if it resonates, but this is a general reading. But the fairies want to let you know that they see you, and they hope that you see them too. They want to let you know that you are more than welcome to play and visit with them anytime, and that they would love to help you shuffle things around in your life a little bit. For some of you, they want you to reorganize your home. For others of you, they want you to just take out those paints and make a mess. For some of you, they want you to reorganize maybe your to-do list, your daily life. They want you to add more fun, more play, more creativity, and a different sense of order. They want you to add more magic and more color into your life. So the fairies want you to know that they are supporting your creative process and endeavors at this time. They want to see your fullest expression, and they want to remind you that similarly to when you're going through your closet or you are bringing out all the cleaning supplies to clean something up, oftentimes it can make a bit of a mess. Sometimes things have to get messier before they get cleaner. But the same is sometimes true with the creative process. Sometimes we want to see the result of what we're doing, either conceptually or physically, before we actually create something. And the fairies are reminding you to let yourself make a little bit of a mess and see what you flow into. For example, you can start painting something and not know what you're going to paint and see what comes out. Sirens for confirmation. Group 1, they want you to enjoy and get lost in the creative process itself. Because it's not always about the results. It's not even always about the end project. And of course, that is a beautiful thing, to look at something you made and say, look, I made that. That's amazing. It's one of the best feelings in the world. But they also want you to enjoy the process of creation. Enjoy the process of you making something. Maybe starting to move your furniture around without knowing where everything is going to land at the end of the day. Perhaps some of you are going to be experiencing something or creating something and just going with the flow, because that flow of the perceived unseen might lead you towards exactly what you've been envisioning and imagining and desiring all this time. But sometimes when we are so focused on what you want to manifest, whether this is something in your physical life, whether it's a lifestyle, whether it's a piece of art or anything like this, they want to remind you that the magic is that in and of itself. Sometimes you send an anchor out, you put it in a particular energy or on a project or on a lifestyle, an ideology, and then you kind of follow that line to get yourself there. But what happened if you wandered around? What happened if you walked through the forest without a path? You might be able to find, they're showing me like little mushrooms and cute stuff like that. You might be able to find the secrets of the forest that wouldn't have shown themselves to you if you had stayed on the same path that everyone else took. And it's, yes, about tapping in with your creative energy, yes, with tapping in with your originality and your individuality, but it's a little less about what does everyone else do and what do you do, and a little more about allow yourself to explore and discover what there is to be explored and discovered. And the fairies really want to help you add some magic to your life. So go ahead and start shifting that furniture around without knowing exactly where everything should be properly in feng shui, or without even seeing the end result first. Let yourself paint because you really feel like painting, even though you maybe aren't entirely sure what you're making yet. Sometimes the creative process in and of itself reveals to you further depth, further magic, further mystery, and grander results than you ever could have imagined. Fun fact, when I was making this oracle deck, I made like 4 others, and this is the one that flowed through me while I was making the others. Same with my Fool's Journey book. That is one of my favorite things I've ever created, and I actually started making my astrology book first. It took me years and years to make that, and while I was in the process of that, I wanted to create something that was a little less tactile and help me blow off some steam a little bit, and I ended up creating that. And now I have 2 books published instead of 1 because I wanted to let myself explore a little bit energetically. And so the fairies are welcoming in energies like this too. Let yourself see what it is that you doodle on your notebooks. Let yourself tap into Pisces and fall a little bit back out of Virgo, although you've learned the lessons and they're great skills to have. Allow yourself to notice when a door is open and walk through it, even though you don't necessarily know what you're activating on the other side. So let's get into your tarot. Group number 1, let's see what the fairies would like to say to you today. Messages, please, from the fairy realm to group number 1. You are filled with magic, so believe in it. Others can see your magic too. There's something about your independence, and some of you are very strong manifestors, or your magic is very, very potent. There's something here about you being able to manifest anything, be very independent, or maybe you just have a bit of a pep in your step. You could be a very grateful person. You could be sure of your path, sure of who you are. There's kind of this energy coming out here where the fairies would like to recognize the way that you kind of have a certain stride to your step. I'm hearing self-fulfilling prophecies, but they're positive, and it teaches others that they can do this as well. We have the Two of Swords, the Justice card, the 5 of Swords, and the Devil coming out. Interesting. Okay, there are light fairy rings and dark fairy rings. I felt the need to tell you that. So they want you not to be afraid of the shadows. They're not encouraging that you dive into negative energy, but they're reminding you that duality exists everywhere in this realm, and that some things that might seem unfair might actually be self-fulfilling prophecies, or you might be helping other people see this. And to kind of add a little bit of sparkle and magic to this energy, the fairies would like for you to know that some things that you might be seeing as bad, or as attachments, or as perhaps selling out or something like this, there's another way to look at this. Okay, 2 of Swords. This can indicate decision making. It can indicate not seeing the path ahead. It can also indicate being a bit at a crossroads. And so this can be, you're at a crossroads maybe when it comes to what's fair, at a crossroads perhaps when it comes to stress and anxiety. What is worthy of that mental energy, and what kind of mental energy are you putting towards something? And is attachment really bad? They want you to look at these things. Now, of course, we know on the spiritual path, to have an open crown chakra, this deals largely with detachment from the physical realm. But detachment only exists because attachment exists. So there are certain healthy attachments, such as to your health, such as to your body, such as to the world around you. And there are some things when you need to magnetize something, you are asking for it to attach or pass through you. So they want you to take another look at the way that you view attachment. And this doesn't need to be something that is permanent. It doesn't need to mean that you are grounding yourself so much so that you're not on the spiritual path. And it doesn't need to be that you are stepping into a materialistic energy either. But there are certain things, such as allowing yourself to enjoy maybe the present moment, the smell of the flowers, your new mindset, or stepping through this door, this portal that's coming towards you, allowing yourself to let it be okay that you have a thing. They're showing me that analogy in the beginning of a painter showing up at a canvas, unaware exactly of what they're going to make, but aware that kind of like when you are creating a sculpture out of marble, you trust that what you're making is already in there, and you're letting it show itself to you, you're finding it. And so there's kind of this energy here where the fairies want to speak to you about maybe a decision that you've made in the past that seemed fair, right, and just, but maybe it's causing you stress now. Maybe it's coming back around to be reapproached. Maybe you released something that you once thought you were attached to, and attachment was bad. Okay, there's this energy here of wanting to welcome something into your life, and it being encouraged that you do. And they would like to draw your attention to, you know now who you are. You know now what you desire. You know now how to fulfill your own self. You know how to fill up your own cup and overflow it upon others. So, with this being the case, that doesn't make it a bad thing to receive externally. It doesn't make it a bad thing to enjoy the process of giving or the process of receiving. And so the fairy realm would like to come through for you today, group 1, and they want to let you know that there is an opportunity for you to begin something that might start off like a bit of a mess, or to dive into something where it needs to get a bit disheveled before it finds its order, or where it needs to get where you need to take everything out, unpack everything before you can put it back in its place. There's kind of this energy here of the fairy realm letting you know about this ahead of time, and also letting you know that they're here supporting you and surprising you. They want you to enjoy the process because it can be fun. Maybe you don't take out the paints because it'll be messy. Or maybe that's an analogy for something emotional you have to unpack. Maybe it's an analogy for a relationship. However this manifests in your individual life, Group 1, your expression and your intuition, your own vision for your own self, your own life, your own fulfillment, is something that they want you to not stay as detached from. Now, they want to remind you, again, detachment is not a bad thing, but the fairies really, really want you to allow yourself to enjoy the feeling of your visualization. Let yourself be in the moment fully of having that vision, of expressing, letting yourself come down to the present moment just a little bit more. And they're not saying that you're not present. They're saying that you're very grateful, but you're both so detached and so grounded that everything in between those two are kind of, they're saying, overly organized. They're showing me like a house that is squeaky clean and it's all white marble everywhere. But because of that, you don't want to walk around. You don't want to take a book off the shelf. You don't want to take out your paints because what if you make a mess? You don't want to have a cup of coffee because what if you spill a sip? Things like this. And so they want you to bring and welcome a little bit of the mess into your life again. And they're not saying that mess needs to be bad, but they're saying that remember that magic can be beautiful and it can also be mischief. And mischief can be seen as good, it can be seen as bad. Play can be seen as good, it can be seen as bad. And so while you are so attached to detachment, they would like you to let that go in and of itself. They're not saying to be attached to any outcomes, but they're saying to allow yourself to feel a little bit attached to the process. You know how to detach, but enjoy the process, enjoy the present moment. We have the Lover's card, we have the Hermit, and we also have the Ten of Wands. Now the fairies have a surprise for you, and they want to let you know that they have helped you make a difficult decision in the past that had to bring you to your own self-love journey, your own internal deep dive, your own inward exploration. And from this point, you are feeling perhaps so far removed, not from magic, but from things in the external realm that also resonate with magic. For example, you could be someone like, maybe you're a very magical being and you're filled with very practical people in your life. Maybe you're a very practical person and you're looking to add a little magic into your life, but you don't see that around you. Maybe there's this energy of coming out of this hermit mode, but so you might be a little bit in your comfort zone. And the fairies want to remind you that they, as an elemental being, are very, very welcoming to you to be a bridge between you and your external realm, just as you're a bridge between them and their external realm. So they would like to offer that up for you as well. There's an indication that the fairies are trying to welcome certain people into your life. Certain beings, perhaps certain plants, certain creative visions, but really people is coming out. So if there are people that are drawn to magic or drawn to your magic that are around you right now, or they're flocking to you, or they're giving you little, they're saying fairy gifts, this is something to keep an eye out for. They want you to look out for dandelions. They want you to keep a lookout for snapdragons, for things that you can see a face in, such as when you can see the faces in the trees or in the leaves or in flowers or sometimes on the front of cars. They want you to look at when the face stands out. And that can be something with an individual too. Now, we all have beautiful faces. Every single one of you is gorgeous because you exist and you are an intentional manifestation of the universe incarnate, and you're gloriously gorgeous. Just by the way, Group 1. But say there's something special about someone's eyes, or there's a particular face shape or something that you notice just stands out. Maybe someone who looks a little bit like your favorite animal, or someone who looks a little bit like an alien, or a little bit like a fairy. Maybe this has to do with welcoming the trees. They're showing me that grandmother tree in Pocahontas. Following that tree, where you feel like you can see a face in it, or maybe you have a crystal. Picking it up and spending the day with it. There are people that are being welcomed into your life by the fairies And they're following, actually, a little trail of fairy magic to find their way into your life. And they want to remind you that you can see them if you desire, that there are so many different types of fairies, just like there are so many different types of people. They want to remind you that as beautiful and honorable as it is to be alone, in order to successfully enjoy and appreciate the presence of others, you have to successfully enjoy the presence of yourself being alone. And this is something that you do. So you're being encouraged to spread your wings and fly, step out of your comfort zone a little bit, and with the 10 of Wands and the Devil, release some of that burden that you are so aloof about. Allow yourself not to say it is what it is, and let yourself go for it. Well, this is already really clean. I don't want to bring in a mess. Well, what if you have a lot of fun and you end up accidentally painting your walls? What if you have so much fun and you accidentally cut a hole in your jeans, but then you have like really stylish looking pants? What if you make a total mess of yourself, do something that you totally wouldn't do? Now, mess is subjective and also healthy, and I'm not encouraging anyone to do anything like super wild and out, but this is the message that's coming through, and I'm going to honor it for you guys, of course. What if you go out and you make a little bit of a mess of yourself, and because of that you meet a friend that you haven't seen in a while, or a stranger on the street? What if you express yourself a little loudly, a little boldly, and someone is there? What if you go have a little bit of fun, and it puts you exactly in the community that you're meant to be in? There is something where the fairy realm would like to they would like to ask you not to be so attached to detachment that you forget to color inside and outside of the lines. You don't need to make the conscious decision to color outside of the lines. Maybe you're just coloring and you're enjoying what you're doing so much that you start coloring really hard and really fast, and then all of a sudden you notice that some of the color goes outside of the lines. But maybe the way that it looks to you inspires you to do something bigger and better and greater. There are some linear processes in your life that have been serving you really, really well up until this point. And the fairies would like to remind you to tap into your Piscean energy, your Neptunian energy. They want you to tap in with the elements of air and water. And they want you to know, group number 1, that you are not alone, but the magic that you seek, the experience that you seek, the adventure, the color, the art, the creativity, it lies within. And so they want to remind you that it's okay for you to not know what is going to happen when you walk out your door. It's okay for you to be in those moments of little butterflies. It's okay for you to be in that top of the roller coaster moment. It's okay and natural for you to sit down with a stick with some sand and not know what picture you're going to draw in the sand, but know that you're going to draw a picture. So on and so forth. When you begin writing a song, it doesn't have to be because you've already heard all of the notes and know all of the words ahead of time. More often than not, some of the best things in life are unintentionally created because that is when true flow is experienced and achieved. So was it really unconscious? They're showing me the song Strawberry Fields by the Beatles. That song wasn't supposed to actually be put together in that way. It ended up being a bunch of like splices from other songs that they just, for some reason, could not make their own individual projects. They just weren't hitting the nail on the head, and someone just put them together. And if you listen, you can actually hear the bridge switch when they switched from one track to the other. And also, the song Strawberry Fields is just magical in and of itself, and it's very fairy-esque. So, and they're showing me the song where it's like, nothing is real. So, group number 1, there is a little bit of playfulness that the fairies are encouraging you to step into. There's a little bit of not being afraid to make a mess, because what if you are really organizing things? What if you're making things cleaner? What if you're making things prettier, but you don't want to make the mess? So you put it where it's the most convenient for you right now, where it looks the best, where it feels the best, where it feels the cleanest. Maybe the reason why you took out all those art supplies is because you're going to make an art station in your house. Maybe taking out that easel will show you that there's a permanent place in your home for your easel. So don't keep it locked up in the closet. Pull it out and lay it on the floor. Lay down a tarp. Don't be afraid to make a little bit of a mess. And in making that mess, find the place where that mess belongs. And when you're done with your creation, realize that it really wasn't a mess in the first place. It was merely different than what you were used to. And some might call that magic. Others might call that messy. Some might call it light. Some might call it shadow. Others might call it mischievous. But either way, you're being inclined, group number 1, inspired and asked by the fairies to, first of all, know that you're supported in your endeavors and that you have a little bit of extra magic, but you're being encouraged to welcome a little bit of sparkle and a little bit of mischief into your life. And they do want to let you know, again, that they've got a couple blessings for you, a couple people for you, a couple fun little, they're saying misadventures for you, and not to be surprised when something that you've been feeling tapping on your shoulder or tapping on your aura shows up in front of your face, but it needed you to be in a little bit of a messy energy, just a little bit of mischief, in order to show up in your life. Okay, group number 1, so that was your channeled message from the fairy realm. If you like this message, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out my channel and helps others connect with their elemental friends as well. If you want to see more exclusive content like this, I post every single Wednesday on my Inner Circle channel on YouTube. You can click the join button on my channel. And I post every single Thursday on my Patreon, which you can find down in the description box below. I am so grateful that you were here today. Thank you for the energy exchange, and I hope that you enjoy your little adventure with the fairies. Also, if you create something like super fun and cool, go ahead and drop it in the comment box because I would love to check it out. And I just love the artistic process and exchanging creations and beautiful things like that. So go ahead and put your project or your art or your Etsy shop or whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you love, drop it below in the comments. And I don't know, maybe it'll lead to a couple extra blessings your way. I'll check it out. And yeah, I want to let you know I love you and I'm grateful for you. I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity on your situation. And as always, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful, magical realm. Namaste. Hi there, group 2. Namaste, and welcome to your message from the fairy realm. You selected the second group, and your card is Listen to Your Higher Self. Now, there are a lot of different ways that people understand the term higher self. Some people believe it's their higher consciousness, it's the entirety of their soul. Some people believe their higher source is synonymous with the term source, and sometimes it can just mean something that we call like our oversoul, our higher self, that version of your individuality that is still connected with all different parts of your lifetimes. However, your light being, or whatever you like to call it, resonates with you. Your advice here from the fairy realm, first and foremost, is to listen to your higher self. Now, the fairy realm would like for you to look internally and see when you are tapped in with your fullest, most magical, beautiful self. What does that look like? Some of you might want to take a look at the visualizations that you have here. Visualizations, I said that so weird. Maybe some of you feel internally, maybe you feel like you are an alien. Maybe you feel like you're a fairy. Maybe you feel like you're a mermaid. Maybe you feel like you are an old, wise medicine person. Allow yourself to take a look at what it is you feel like when you've released all of the burdens of this physical realm. How do you feel? Listen to that version of you. If you were to shed not your personality, but your humanity, and you were to find your true personality, what does that look like? Now, they say along the spiritual journey, you change and you grow, and really all you do is release and shed the parts of you that are no longer serving you or are not really genuine to your authentic, truest self. And so what the fairy realm wants to speak to you today is primarily actually about tapping in with your heart, with the green here. Tapping in with all those versions of you that are guiding you right here, right now, including them. And what they mean when they say this is that there is a version of you that sees all, that remembers everything, that is able to understand why you are the way you are, why you feel drawn towards the things you feel drawn towards, why you make the decisions that you do, and they think that you are perfect because you are intentional. You are exactly No more, no less, no little to the right or a little to the left. Exactly what they wanted you to be in this moment, so that you can be the best version of yourself, the most fulfilled version of yourself, the version of yourself that loves the hardest, the version of yourself that learns the most, the one that achieves the most, that breaks through your karmas. So, tapping back in with the fairy realm here, they want you to know that you have a stronger connection with them than you might initially realize. You might feel that you feel very, very drawn towards things such as the Pleiades, or really, really drawn towards Mother Earth, Gaia. You might notice, for example, that you feel really, really drawn towards crystals, towards Reiki energy work, crystalline, rainbow, healing light, things like this, diamond energy. And the reasons for this might actually be because you have a closer resemblance to the fairy realm than you might initially think. You're being encouraged to listen to your higher self, group 2, but you're also being encouraged to tap in with the elemental realm. Some of you may have memories of being a bird or having an aquatic life. Some of you may remember being a magical fairy tale mythical creature that maybe you don't necessarily hear about too often in the spiritual community, even the starseed community. Or perhaps you have memories of versions of you that are just so magical and so connected with the Fae, and they're saying, there you are, there's my group 2. They remember you, and they know that there are parts of you, at the very least, that remember them too. And so they would like to connect with their dear old friend that they love very, very much, you, group number 2. What a beautiful way to start your reading. So what a cool message to get from the fairies in the beginning. Let's see, fairy realm, please. What messages do you have for group number 2? I'm hearing keep going. Maybe keep striving along your spiritual path. Maybe you have experienced the entire torus of your electromagnetic being, of your conscience, your consciousness, maybe some of you are working really hard towards something and you're wondering, am I going a bit too far? Am I asking for too much? Should I not be taking this to the next level? And the fairy realm would like to encourage you. They want to let you know, keep going, go for it. Add the little sparkle here, cross the T's, dot the I's. Let yourself go for something all the way, especially if it's a little magical or a little bit scary. Now, they're saying that you have a little jar of magic that you can use, or that it's time to unleash now. And they are showing me, actually, I keep on my desk this jar of fire opals, which I know if you know how rare these are, you're probably like, what the heck? Why do you have that? And it's because I felt the same way when I found it. So I have it and I keep it on my desk, and very, very, very rarely do I take one out. And it's actually charged with extra magic because little tiny bits of moss have grown in here. Not a lot, but a little bit. Every now and then when I make like eclipse water, very rarely, I'll take like just a tiny little splash and I'll put it in there. And I'll charge it with like a tourmaline and a rose quartz. And when I would like to tap in with that energy, I'll just take a tiny little sip. And so there's this this energy of you having your own little jar of magic, or your own little container, like your own little positive Pandora's box. Now I know that is special for you. And excuse me while I'm telling you about like my little eclipse rituals, but whatever. I'm here to share, and you're here to it's an energy exchange, and I love you guys. And so there's something here where you have your own little jar of this magic. I've been kind of feeling called to disperse these lately, not all of them, but to maybe make them into art, or surprise some of the people that order like little jewelry and stuff off my shop with one, or turn some of them into necklaces. I don't know. We'll see what these turn into over time. But they're beautiful and they're rare, just like you. And the fairy realm would like you to know that maybe there's like a candle on your shelf that you never burn. Take it off. Like, take it off the shelf and light it. Maybe you have a jar of your own proverbial fire crystals, that fire opals that you don't open, or you save for really specific, beautiful, magical situations. And I'm hearing to tell you that it's time that you take a sip of that eclipse water, or it's time that you use that precious jar of glacial salt that you got in Svalbard, or whatever, like that special little thing that you save. It's time that you take another look at it. For some of you, this is a memento, but it's definitely something magical. Now, there's a reason for this, and the fairy realm wants to let you know that the only moment that you have is now. And so with that, in that same token, okay, anything that you're saving for later, you're just saving it for a different version of now. But if it's magical, why not welcome it into your life now? Because the magical will be ever persisting and omnipresent. This seems like a group who's familiar with timeline work, and I say timeline lightly, the same way I say higher self lightly, because these are words that we understand in the spiritual community to describe really vast topics that are entire rabbit holes you can unravel yourself, because everything goes back to like source, right? So when I say higher self, I can mean source, I can mean anywhere between you and source. And when I say magic, I can mean anything as well. But hopefully you're understanding the energy that's coming through. That is the purpose of me translating in these words for you in the first place. Anyway, the fairy realm wants you to know that your little jar of magic, okay, put it on your now timeline. And as you do this, let yourself open this up, and it will permeate to your past and to your future, and of course to your present moment. But there's something here where you can now connect these two energies together. It's reminded me of a TikTok reading I gave the other day, where there was a message coming through about somebody having a blessing or an idea and feeling like it just wasn't yet, not now, now's not the time. And it wasn't because the timing was wrong, because we know there's no such thing as wrong timing, but the energy wasn't necessarily aligned. So pinning your magical energy to something that was existing in that moment would not have had the full result or the magical result. And this is where that timing aspect comes in. And the fairies are letting you know, actually, group 2, that there is something here where if you add your little bit of magic to whatever energy you're in right now, or whatever project you're working on, or whatever desire or manifestation you have at this current moment, you're going to expand exponentially. It's going to be very, very fruitful, because you're connecting two energies together. This is alchemy. Changing one thing into another form. Some of you may be getting into transformational magic or a little bit of actual craft here. We have the Wheel of Fortune with the 8 of Wands. We have the 2 of Wands, and we have the Queen of Swords with the King of Swords coming out. We do have counterpart energies coming out here. I'm hearing someone saying, I'm picking up what you're putting down. And I think there was a reason why I felt the need to say that everything, 8 of Wands, another card of communication, can be translated in a multitude of different ways, because everyone has their own individual perspective. And the fairies want to let you know that you can have your own perspective on something, and someone else can have theirs. And you can do two of the same exact. You both can do the same thing for entirely different reasons. Or you can do entirely opposite things for the same reason. The fairy realm wants to let you know that you and them sometimes do opposite things, but for the same reason. And that reason connects you to them with your higher self. And they would like for you to bridge the gap. Some of you, if you're energy channelers, or if you have mediumship abilities, or you have a certain way to tap in with them, they would love to be more of a part of your day-to-day life. Some of you, maybe you make little crystal circles or little fairy rings yourself. Maybe you draw little doors and little stairways in your room on your wall so that the magical beings can have a doorway, an entrance into your home. And of course, there are ways to do these things safely, and of course what you believe you manifest, so keep the intentions happy and light and positive and magical, of course. However, the fairies want to let you know that when it comes to your future, they want to help you express something. They want to help you teach what you have learned. They also want to speak with you more, and there's kind of this energy, I'm hearing like divine counsel. Now, I don't know if you resonate with like being a divine being from another realm, or we did have the message earlier of you remembering probably another lifetime, past, present, future, parallel, again, time, but remembering something, someone, somewhere else that resonates with you. And they want to help you bring this energy forth in the way that you express, and the way you express yourself, the way that you think, the way you present yourself. And you're shedding layers of your being back to this higher self conversation we had in the beginning. See, they're drawing it full circle for you. They want to match your energy. They want to help you match that energy. And they want to help you to release little tiny bits and pieces and particles that don't resonate with that authentic version of yourself. There's a little bit of mystery, a little bit of magic, a little bit of shenanigans, a little bit of fairy tale, beautiful magic, imaginary realm, and of course, I wink when I say those things, energy about you. And they would like to see you kick the magic up a notch. Not asking more of you, but letting yourself be seen fully. And they would like to challenge you to do that. Now, group number 2. Something about the way you express yourself seems to be changing in the near future. Or perhaps something that you identify with, perhaps being a starseed, being an earth angel, perhaps anything at all. There's something about your self-identity, your self-expression. Maybe for some of you, your geographical location, your interests that are going to change very soon. And it's not because you're changing. It's because your understanding, your perception is changing. You're growing. And as you grow, you're noticing that there's more magic in your life. Maybe before you didn't do craft because you believed that everything was craft. But maybe now you're going to start doing craft. Maybe before you did do craft and then you realize that you can just shift everything energetically. So then you stopped. And see how these are both examples of progression and evolution, but they look exactly opposite from each other. You are being called to take a sort of unbiased approach to your own magical energies and express them fully. There's an energy here about something that excites you or something that makes you really, really passionate or really interested in, or something that you remember or know how to do that perhaps you don't dive into fully because it doesn't align with the way you currently express yourself. And you're not being encouraged to look at what lies within. You're being encouraged to take a look at the expression there. And, of course, they're saying take your time, go at your own pace, but if you want a safe space to practice this skill, to practice this craft, to practice communicating with energies, to practice diving into your magic a little bit or remembering this lifetime, whatever this means for you, the fairy realm would like to have open arms and welcome their dear old friend, group number 2, into their realm. And they would like to provide with you a safe space with which to practice this, to remember this, to explore this. If you're open to it, they will show up in your dreams, group number 2, and they will show you memories. They'll show you how to do certain things. They'll welcome you into the realm of lucid dreaming. They'll help you astrally project. For others of you, they'll help you to see beyond the veil, not just what is here and on the other side, but in every single little micro particle of realm in between the veil. As we know, we can see our side, there is an other side, there is through the veil in between, and then just like there are every little millions and infinite of multi-dimensional folds within every single particle that we can't even see, the same exists within the veil. And this is very literal. You're being encouraged to open up your eyes, open up your third eye, open up your one eye, and allow yourself to breathe in what you remember and express yourself fully as the wholeness of your being. Not just as the version of you that is so close to source that you shed all personalities that took you to that place, but in a way where you are feeling the magic, the possibility, that in-between step, the actual bridge that connects the two is just as important as the channel. So, the fairies would like for you, they're telling me not to pull more cards. Actually, okay, I'm going to be pulling from another deck for you, group 2, just because I feel called. But before I do, the fairy realm is, they're asking you to follow your instincts. You intuitively, or as they like to say, instinctively, already know where you're going because it's where you've been. sometime, someplace, somewhere else. You have some sort of destination in mind here, some sort of goal in mind here. This can be energetically, this can be geographically, it can be in any way that resonates with you. But there is some sort of destination that you are reaching. And that very last step is allowing yourself to express yourself as who and what you've always been, not just who you are right now. And that, from a spiritual perspective, takes a lot of work in order to get there. And so the fairy realm would like for you to know that the fae are always there for you. Whenever you want to practice this, whenever you want a safe space, whenever you want to experience home or tap in and spend a little time floating out with another realm that you might be familiar with, there's this definitely there's a homecoming energy to this pile, tapping in with the fae. And if they would like for you to explore this, whether or not you're already familiar with this, with the reason why that is. And they want to let you know that you have some grit in this life. Now, I think they're making a little bit of a joke, okay? And they're saying, so don't take this personally. They're making a little bit of a joke, okay? As they do. And they're saying you have grit. There was a little bit of a bet about whether or not you would make it in this realm, not because you're incapable, but because of all of the stuff that you've experienced. They're saying group number 2 should never have taken all of that stuff. Group number 2 really showed them what they're made of. Group number 2, they have no idea who they're messing with when they were coming around group number 2. And so there's a little bit of this, oh, you should have seen the other person energy that they're giggling about with you. And they're saying that's an inside joke. So there's kind of this energy here. They're honoring your love, your purity, your gentle, generous heart. But they're also saying from a perspective of maybe your higher self, another lifetime of yours, another version of you, the magic within you. They're kind of saying, oh, if only they knew who they were dealing with group number 2. Group number 2 really took on that earth realm, didn't they? And so they really want you to stand in your power and show them what you got, show them what you're made of, group 2. But they also want to welcome you home and kind of give you an opportunity to decompress a smidge. I'm hearing drain your nervous system. Some of you might be drawn towards lymphatic drainage too, whether this is with gua sha or those little face rollers or doing tapping. Tapping can be great for that dry brushing as well. Having a little bit of tea in the morning. I'm getting that this pile feels as though it's most likely to have herbalists in it. I'm going to pull from the Mushroom Oracle here for closing out messages to you, group 2. I didn't feel inclined to do this for group 1. They told me not to, actually. So some of you might enjoy taking like Reiki, ashwagandha, for example. I think that's Indian ginseng is another word for that. Messages, please, from the Fae, from the Fairy Realm to group number 2. Messages. Okay. There's a booty, so I'm going to cover it up. We have tree, stable, slow partnership. The Fae want you to know that you have really deep roots there. And they also want to let you know that you can find them around trees, around roots. If you have plants in your house, they hang out with your plants, or they will if you invite them. Or maybe if you want to go plant shopping, or go to a botanical garden near you, or somewhere like this is a place where you are very likely to find them. They want you to know that it's okay for you to move slowly. You know, plants move, and they see things, and they're aware that they see things, and they're aware that they move, but a lot of times it's so slow that we don't see it, we can't perceive it. And so they want to remind you that some things that you might think are staying still are actually moving, but they're moving so magically that it's hard to perceive it. So maybe they're saying wink again. They seem really fond of you, group 2. They want to let you know that there's something in your life where there's so much magic that it's unfathomable to you. Maybe there's something that looks like it's stuck, or it's not moving, or something that looks like it is exactly what it's not, because there's some magic that's being worked on your behalf here. We have the Scarlet Elf Cup as well. Vibrant, cheerful enchantment. Okay. some of you are really pulling out some of that giddy, magical energy here. With the enchantment, some of you are being encouraged to pick up like a spiritual tool, such as, they're saying a wand, or they're saying you'll know. Some of you, they're saying you have a signature, like a signature, accessory or a signature spiritual tool, and they would like for you to pick this back up. This might be in your lifetime, this might be in other lifetimes, but you'll know what it is. They're showing me all the moths on this card and the snake. You've done so much spiritual work on yourself, and they want to let you know that it's okay for you to be cheerful. It's okay for you to be vibrant. It's okay for you to be such a golden retriever, or such a fairy, or such a beautiful magical being that it makes other people second guess or do a double take, because who cares what they think? They want to remind you that cheer, literal cheer, excitement, enchantment, it's just as important as every other energy in the world. And they really, really want you to maybe crack open that spell book, or finally sit down and write that grimoire. Maybe they really want you to pick up that wand you have in a drawer, or that one tool that you used to always use in another lifetime that you don't have one today. Go pick one up. Go find your little fairy wand or equivalent to it, and remind yourself. We do have the elves coming up as well here, so there's something here about letting yourself play, and letting yourself really experience the memory of what is there non-judgmentally, because there's going to be a lot of magic, a lot of things that you probably would have been taught not to lean into, that you're going to realize were true and part of your truth all along. So if that doesn't resonate with you yet, they challenge you to do that deep dive. And if it resonates with you already, they want to let you know that it's go time. It's time for you to tap into that realm, to play a little bit more, to really bring out that magic and show them what you're made of. They're kind of showing me this like little storyline. They're showing me like a magical fairy with like super cool powers, okay, who incarnates as a human. And okay, have you seen the movie Bewitched? You know how the one with Will Ferrell. So this girl, she's like a witch, and she gets a job, but she gets a regular person job because she wants to do things the regular person way. She's like, everything's so easy, I can just use magic for everything. Like, this is so boring. And so she does everything the hard way and doesn't tell anybody that she's magical. And then eventually she's able to be open about it and realizes what a blessing and a gift her magic is and all that stuff. I don't want to ruin it, but there's kind of this energy here of you, for some reason, like doing things the human way, doing things the hard way, when you can easily like snap your fingers or flick your wand or something, and live a life of enchantment. And so they want you to be that version of you again. They want you to not only believe in that, but to embody that. There's one more message here for you that has to do with a message, expression. There is something or someone that is, well, what is this? They're showing me the Eight of Wands and the King of Queen, and they want me to be very specific about how this message comes out. Okay, there is a message that you have been waiting for a very long time, and this is part of your destination. It's part of a soul activation for you, and you're going to know that you're waiting on this message, although you might be picking up on it with your little antennas, but you might not necessarily be 100% positive. And again, this is general, so maybe you are, but you might not necessarily, you might know it's coming in, but you might not know which direction it's coming from or what shape that soul friend of yours is taking in this lifetime. You might not know which avenue or which color or which shape it's going to take, but you know that you're waiting on a message. They're saying there's some sort of like code word, or there's some sort of activation where you will know beyond reasonable doubt, but you're feeling something coming in, and you're aware that it's activating, and you're also aware that it's something that you've experienced before in other timelines, or you're aware that it's something that you've kind of left with yourself as a clue to carry forward in this life. They want to let you know that this is coming in really soon, and for some of you, this is in your life or in your aura already. let yourself be cheerful that this is coming in. Let yourself feel and dive into those emotions all the way, and trust that your expression, your understanding, your mentality, specifically about the spiritual and magical things, all things fantastic, all things enchanted, will be reciprocated. And that will be one of the biggest signs and clues to look out for. And they're also showing me a mushroom, but like the cute little like neutral color ones with the red polka dots on it. So that can be significant for you too, or it can be a sign to look out for. That is all I have for you, group number 2. I want you to take a look into that deep dive that they were asking you about. I want to thank you so very much for being here. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you subscribe, it helps my channel grow. If you like and comment, it helps us to connect and build a community, and also helps to lead this message to other people who might resonate with it as well. If you would like to see more of where this came from, I also do have another message from the fairies that is on my subscription YouTube channel, my little inner circle, as I call it. You can go on my channel on the main page and click on join, which is right next to subscribe, for new pick-a-cards every single Wednesday. I post publicly on Tuesdays, and my YouTube subs on Wednesdays. And I post on Patreon as well another pick-a-card every single Thursday. So that's 3 pick-a-cards a week. So if you like this, you know where to find more. As always, I'd like to thank you for being here, let you know that I love you, and I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity on your situation. This was your channeled message from the fairy realm, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful realm. Namaste. Hi there, group 3. Namaste, and welcome to your reading, where I'm channeling you a message from the fairy realm. You selected the 3rd group with revisiting priorities. Now this is really beautiful. Since this card is green, it is immediately bringing up the heart chakra. But the thing that the fairies actually want to let you know is that they visit you in your sleep, they visit you in your dreams, and they visit you and kind of keep a close watch on you, group 3. I don't know if you knew this already, but they want to let you know that they're certainly around you. Some of you might have Fae on your spirit team, or you might just have a really strong connection with all things like magical, elemental, and fairy related. Now, here's a message that's coming through where they want you to know that you are heading in the right direction, and that you don't need to be doing as much in order to experience more magic in your life. You are watching things compile around you right now, and this is actually a good thing. They want you to look around and see abundance. They want you to feel abundance. But when you're used to kind of not experiencing receiving energy as much, when you're not used to the abundance but it starts to come in, you might feel like you have a surplus of things. You might feel like you have extra. You might feel like there's a bit of clutter. And they're actually encouraging you to step into this energy because they want you to revisit your priorities when it comes to taking care of your body, what it means to have a lot, what it means to do a lot, what it means to rest enough, what it means to eat healthy or to enjoy your body, enjoy life, enjoy magic. They want you to revisit your priorities, and they want you to maybe take a look at, if you had nothing to worry about and no quote-unquote responsibilities, what would your priority list be? Now, of course, we have to make sure that we are supporting ourselves. We have to make sure that we are eating and taking proper care of our body and our mental and emotional and spiritual health. But they're saying, create a priority list that does not include your current responsibilities, the not fun ones, and see what is really a priority to your heart. For some of you, this might be getting an ice cream every Thursday. For some of you, this might be making sure that you journal or making sure that you make time to read. For others of you, it's creating a little safe space or getting one of those fun little canopies to go over your bed or over your reading nook in your room. There's an energy here where Group 3, the fairy realm, wants to let you know that they hear you. Some of you, if you like sing, like professionally, or if you have a little like sing-songy thing, or maybe you sing songs to them, they hear you. They hear you. Some of you, maybe you talk to them, or you pray, or you ask for help. They do want to let you know that they hear you. They've heard what you used to say, and they hear what you say now. And they're saying that if anything, you have grown, you have evolved, you have changed. And the fairy realm would like for you to remind yourself that they have elder spirits too, and you in fact may be one of them. Now, even those that are perceived to be youthful and childlike and mystical, magical, frolicking through the forest, they still have elders as well. There are still wise. There are still healers. And they want to remind you that there's a reason why you have the abilities and capabilities that you do. It's no accident, and it's certainly not because you're not meant to use it or make it a priority in this life. There are certain things that you desire, certain things that you feel drawn towards, certain things you want to become, or you want to do, or you want to try, or explore, or you want to create. And it's certainly not for no reason. And they would like for you to take another look at your priority list, a little bit less ground up and a little more soul down. This is something that will help you to find that meeting point in your heart, but also integrate your responsibilities spiritually with your responsibilities physically. Now, the Fae would like to remind you that they will welcome you with open arms whenever you so choose. And they also want to make you aware, okay, they're saying for this group 3, be careful what you say when you're in a fairy ring. Or when you welcome them into your home, when you welcome them into your energy, be careful what you say or what you're thinking. They can hear all, like they just said, they can see all, and they help you manifest. But they will take what you say very literally. So make sure that you're being careful what you're saying, what you're thinking, what your narrative is, what you wish for. They want you to use precise words. For example, if you are asking for them to help you not be so blue, you might notice that your skin changes colors a little bit. Something very literally. Maybe you have blue eyes and you notice that they get a little bit more hazel. You may be asking for more space in your life in group 3, and you might notice that they not only give you space, but you start tapping in with extra dimensional collectives or having lucid dreams of space. Just be careful of the verbiage that you're using, not in a way where it's detrimental, but just be aware that what you say to yourself is literal. The universe takes it literally, and there is kind of this secret language that you have with yourself and the universe about your intentions. And so it's understood what you mean, especially as you explore those intentions further. But with the Fae, the fairies that are around you, group 3, they want to let you know that they will take everything that you say literally because they want to do a good job. So just be cautious with the words that you're using to yourself, primarily the ones you use in a mirror. For some of you, they want to pay attention. They want to draw your attention to a portal that is in your house. You might not know this is here, or you might. Some of you, if you have like a mirror facing your bed, I would recommend shifting that so it's not the case. Or if you have something like a reflective whiteboard facing a window, this might be creating a portal. If you have 2 mirrors facing each other, or something similar to this, they do want to let you know that you have a portal in your house. Whether or not you're aware of this, if you know this is here, carry on. Make sure you're doing vibrational attunements as you see necessary. If you don't know this is here, they would like for you to be a little more careful of maybe what you are saying in that mirror that has the portal, or what you are writing on that whiteboard that is a portal actually to other realms. Now, of course, everything is a portal. You in and of yourself are a portal. And also, when we do something physically, like put 2 mirrors across from each other, or sprinkle a little salt in a circle around our bathtub, what we're really doing is reaffirming our intentions. But it also helps to ground energy into the physical realm. So, as much as it might not be necessary to have this, or as little of a deal as it might be, it might also help you to have one. And it might also be a little bigger of a deal than you would think, or vice versa. Again, everything is relative, but they wanted to draw this energy to your attention today, so there's certainly a reason. They want you to welcome them back into your home. Maybe for some of you, maybe you've moved homes, or you're not frequenting a garden that you used to frequent when you were little. For some of you, there are some things that they're attached to. They're showing me like a pair of diamond earrings, or like a pearl, or like a special talisman or something. There's something that maybe you have, like, maybe it's in an attic somewhere. Maybe you haven't taken out those earrings in a while. Maybe you don't ever go to that garden anymore. Maybe you moved homes. They would like for you to leave them a bit of a trail so that they can find you more easily now. Or they would like you to take this out and see all the magic that has been compiling, that they've been sending you, that will immediately, like they're saying, explode the second that you come back into contact with this. Okay. Messages, please, from the Fae, from the Fairy realm to group number 3. Messages from the Fae to group number 3. I'm hearing talk to us. We will listen. We will answer. They're really bringing my attention to portals. Like, yes, to fairy rings, but primarily to portals. Some of you, if you do craft work and you work with circles, they want to draw attention to that, or they like that. They're nodding their head yes. If some of you work with like deities and you do that thing where you draw like sigils and you put it in a salt circle, I'm not going to get super into detail with that here because that's not everyone's business. If you're into it, you know where to find it. Okay. But they would like for you to like offer something to them, or to create a circle for them, a portal for their energy, or put them on your altar. Or alternatively, if you are doing a portal with like mirrors across from each other, or a whiteboard and a mirror, or something like that, they would love for you to write them little messages and see if they answer back. Okay, we have the 8 of Wands and the 9 of Swords. Okay. Oh, okay. They see how you've been trying to change your mind about something. They are so insistent that something is true, that something is meant for you, that there's something magical about you, that you do have a particular gift. That person does think that way about you. There's something here where this realm has been trying to convince you of something for so long. And they're saying at first it worked. And they're not trying to get you to... They're not trying to convince you, meaning to fool you. But the message that's coming out here is that you stress yourself out over something that you've gotten confirmation over and over and over again is true. They want you to release, and they want you to release and receive. And some of you, when hearing this message, you know exactly what this is, and you're telling yourself, well, I don't know if that's it. And they're saying, well, if you're telling yourself that's it, then no, it's not that. This is why you need to be very careful about the words that you use in your mental narrative, because they will manifest specifically. If you are asking for, if you have an idea of what this is, and you're asking the universe or your spirit guides or your fairy friends for help manifesting this or something that is similar to this, or the reason why you feel drawn towards this and just deeper understanding, they're saying it's because you already know that that the original version of this energy is meant to be in your life. And they would like to challenge you to open up your perspective about this a little bit, okay? There's something here where you are well aware that in you, when you are in heart-mind coherence, when you're tapped in to all of the magic of all of the universes and your feet are on the ground, there is an energy that resonates with you on the ground, it resonates with you out in the ether, it resonates with you in the fairy realm, and it's something that maybe helps you tap in with magic when you're a little too grounded, and it helps you to ground when you're a little too tapped in with the universe. And not that there's any such thing either way, but you know, when you feel a little bit off balance and you need some recentering. The fairies would like to let you know that they're saying they're striving tooth and nail in order to help bring something into your life. And they want you to be open to it. They want you to tell them with your words that you're open to it. Remember, words are spells. They also want to remind you, this is a little cheeky, okay? They want to remind you that they have the ability to affect some of the things that are rhythmic in this realm. Meaning, behind the scenes and just dipping their toe in this realm. So if all of a sudden you hear a creak, don't put it past them. If all of a sudden you feel something blow on you, that can be them as well. They want to remind you that if you hear something or you experience something that is just It feels magical. It feels like it has their imprint on it, but it might not come through the way that your more direct spiritual abilities do. This is them too, and they're doing this intentionally in order to, they're saying, sensitize you, and also they're saying to throw you for a loop a little bit, because there's so much that you literally see coming that they think it's kind of fun to try to catch you off guard. And that's not to say because they're trying to like trick you or because they're trying to be mischievous or anything. Well, I guess maybe a little mischievous, but what they really want to do is to change your perception about what's possible, what they can help you with, because there are certain things, primarily whatever this is they're speaking with you about today, where they're saying it's okay for you to make something a priority. It's okay for you to make something a priority because they're saying it's time now. You're ready now. You've been ready for a long time, but because you needed to walk through a phase where perhaps you weren't ready and you needed to grow into it, or perhaps you needed to realize that it was okay for this to be a priority, or maybe because you needed to focus your attention elsewhere for a little bit, that doesn't mean that energy or that priority list is permanent. So they want to get you used to expecting the unexpected. They want to get you used to maybe little jump scares or little light bulb flickers, not because they want to scare you, but because they want you to get used to being caught off guard. Because when you are comfortable in that energy, not being caught off guard, but that energy that is doing so, that energy should not be getting you caught off guard anymore. Because they're not talking about the fact that it's happening, they're talking about what it is that is doing that. So they're trying to push little bouts of this energy through so that you're able to get familiarized with it. And they're kind of showing me, like, you know, when somebody has the hiccups and you kind of startle them a little bit. Here's the devil. You kind of startle them a little bit, and because of their startled energy, the hiccups are gone. That's kind of what they're doing with you in order to get you used to this energy. There's something that they're saying, go for it. It's time. Expect that communication. Let go of that stress. There's something here about feeling like something's unhealthy for you, but it's not. There's something here about thinking that something was the wrong timing, but it wasn't, or thinking that because something was the wrong timing or the perceived wrong timing, that it's not for you. And they're saying, don't hold yourself back from this. Look at the energies that are catching you off guard. Zoom into them. Bring it into your portal and see what it is when you not only feel the energy, but you unfold it, you add light to it, you refract it, you unfold it, you look at all the different colors of the rainbow, you see all the ways it can manifest. There's an energetic imprint there of something that you're telling yourself isn't for you, something that you're telling yourself that cycle is over. You don't want that. You shouldn't want that. That shouldn't be on your priority list. And they're telling you, group number 3, it's okay. You're allowed to want that. There's a reason you do. You're supposed to. There's a reason. Because there's something here about being careful about what you're telling yourself. Because your words are spells and you're a lot more powerful and a lot more magical than you're currently allowing yourself to believe. And I think maybe that's why there's a part of you that is aware of this too. And you don't want to accidentally do something that you regret. Now, we have the 7 of Swords and the Knight of Cups coming out, following the Devil and the 4 of Coins and the Page of Swords at the back of the deck. Expect a message. Expect that message. They want you to know that even though sometimes you might feel as though you are not supposed to be attached to certain things that you've experienced in the past, there's a reason why they still are creeping up in the present moment. And it's not because you are any longer learning the lesson. Sometimes it's because you or the situation have made enough shifts to realign. They're showing me a caduceus. Okay, that is the healing emblem, the snake. It also looks like a DNA strand. 2 things come together and they come apart so that they can come back together, so that they can come apart. And you realize that they were merely spiraling around each other the entire time, and every now and then, they bridge the gap between one another. Not all the time, but sometimes. You'll notice that this is a pattern with something in your life, and that it's time for you to reach out your arm, create a portal again, bridge that gap again. And they want you to know that this is going to leak over in more areas of your life than just that little spot where you have your mirror facing your bed, or just that little ritual you do when you're in the bath. They want to let you know that this is going to be something, creating a portal, bridging that gap, is going to be something that is going to be an overarching theme in your life for the next significant period, if it's not already. They're drawing attention to your heart, your throat, and your crown chakras, and they want to let you know that it's okay for you to speak from your heart and your mind. You can be in heart-mind coherence, and you can express what that is. You don't only need to express from one or the other. They also want to let you know that as soon as you're open to this energy, as soon as it doesn't catch you off guard any longer, it's going to be, they're saying, hitting you like a ton of bricks. It's going to be coming in very, very quickly. It's going to show up almost instantaneously, very quickly, and then take one foot and put it in front of the other. Pretty slow forward movement. We have air and earth. So you'll notice that the energies here are very, very intense, very, very quick moving. The communication gets very deep, very fast. But you'll also notice that while this might show up immediately, it will take its time, because it knows it has time to take, whatever the situation is. The fairies want to let you know that they've been helping you prepare for this for a very long time, that they would love to see you dive more into your sacral chakra, into your crown chakra, and into your throat chakra. Telling yourself, yes, that resonates with me. No, that doesn't resonate with me. Re-exploring what you do and don't like so that you can prioritize accordingly. Looking at your priority list from the ground up and maybe flipping over that hourglass or shaking up that Etch-a-Sketch, shaking up the energy so that your priority list goes from the crown down. For some of you, this will be the other way around, since this is a general reading. There's something that you have done to put yourself out there in some way. And we have the Page of Swords indicating this. And you might feel that this is tying you towards something that you don't know you want to be tied to. And they're asking you gently to remove this stress. And if you want to express that or speak about that situation, it will actually be very fruitful for you. It will be helpful. However, they want you to know that you are not as misunderstood as you are currently leading yourself to believe. And they also want you to know, once more, that this is part of the reason why you need to be careful what you're telling yourself. Because someone might be ready, and you might be ready, but you might be telling yourself that you or them are not ready. Because something might be fit for you, and you might be telling yourself it's too good to be true, and that there's more work for you to do. Therefore, you're going to notice that there's more work for you to do, but that the energy remains the same, because you've been ready the entire time. Allow yourself to open up that portal that's already there, and walk through it, step through it. Allow yourself to exist beyond time and space, and the fairies want to let you know that encoded in everything is more magic than you could ever possibly comprehend, regardless of how much you already do understand and comprehend, because there's always, always more magic out there, even to them. They want you to know that they visit you all of the time, and sometimes they like to just sit there and watch you sleep, or sit there and watch you work. Sometimes they have their eyes on you and you're so focused that you don't notice that they're there. And those will be the moments when they jump scare you. You'll hear a creak in the walls, or a light bulb will flicker, or you hear someone down the street drop something and it scares you. They want to let you know that they send ripples and waves of signs, messages, and energy through synchronicities by aligning certain things with one another. For example, when your neighbor drops that glass, it might be right at the moment when you are the deepest into focus. And it's not because they're your neighbor dropping your glass, or because they made your neighbor drop the glass, but because they're able to take that little segment of time or space and just kind of bend it, fold it ever so slightly, like a little rubber band, and create a ripple where those things happen at the same time. So keep an eye out for synchronicities like that. If you are familiar with that type of energy work, they might be encouraging you to practice in this or dabble just a bit. You have more ability to create ripples in synchronicities, in synchronicities, in time, and in understanding of momentum than you might be currently thinking or practicing. And this is again why they're saying that what you're telling yourself is so significant. What you say when you're in that portal is really important. What you write on that board, what you write on that mirror, what you say in that mirror, it matters. And they want to remind you that, well, you can sometimes perhaps be fooling yourself. There's not really too much of a thing as delusion. And I say that lightly because I know that I know the way that the world works, and there are different reasons why one might use that word, but they're saying that when it comes to magic, when it comes to your experience, don't tell yourself that a certain threshold then becomes delusional. Because you're meant to be proud of who you are. And there is something here where you might notice that you are unintentionally holding yourself back a little bit when it comes to your expression and your pride, your confidence. Because you're nervous that if you're seen all the way, something might happen. And they're saying, you're right, something will happen. Don't expect it to be bad. Don't tell yourself that. Dare to be brave, dare to be bold. Utilize those portals. Create new ones. Enjoy the realm. Send out your own ripples of signs and synchronicities. Bend time and space. Allow yourself to feel what it feels like to be you, and allow yourself to get to know your sensations once more. Not just to identify what they are, but how they feel subjectively. You've done so much work objectively that they want to ask you to get to know yourself once more subjectively. The fairy realm will be sending you signs and messages that you'll be able to understand clear as day because they're used to speaking to you in your own language. And when you speak back, make sure that you're speaking literally. And there's one thing that was coming up in your energy that seems to kind of trail you no matter where you go. This might be a small handful of things. If so, they're tied together, and that's no accident. But if it's only one thing, this thing, whatever this is that seems to tail you, there's a reason why. It's not because it's not meant for you. And it's not because you're not meant to experience it or experience it once more. When you allow yourself to, they're saying, appreciate the beauty of being a butterfly, not just changing into one. When you are flying through the air, landing on flowers, choosing who you're going to bless and bestow your presence upon, who you're sending a sign to today, when you step into that energy, which most of you are most of the way there, that is when the magic really, truly begins. Okay, group number 3, that is all I have for you today. That was your channeled message from the fairy realm. If you like this reading, please like and comment so that it helps other people find this message that it resonates with. If you subscribe to my channel, it will help me out a lot. And if you want to see more content like this, I do post exclusively every Wednesday full pick-a-card readings on my YouTube subscriber channel, which is my little inner circle. You can click the join button on my profile next to the subscribe button. If you want to see even more, you can join my Patreon, where I post pick-a-cards every single Thursday. And there's a special little community over there too. I do post 3 separate pick-a-card readings with distinctly different collectives, with some overlap. So if you're interested in those, you can find those linked below in the description box, as well as a link to my Etsy shop where you'll be able to find personal readings for tarot and astrology, Reiki sessions, art that I've made, my little crystal jewelry that I make, my Follow Your Heart Oracle deck that I use for the card selections and more, and the books that I've written, and just all the other little projects that I work on. So without further ado, I will leave you here, group 3. I'm sending you so much love. I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity on your situation. I hope this helped connect you to the fairy realm and expand into your magic a little bit deeper. And I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful realm. Namaste.